So imagine if you said, I want a man who's driven and successful, and then I say, oh, so you want an ATM. I mean, it's yes, in a way, it's a reductive way of referencing the same thing. Essentially, a man who is hardworking and successful is a man with money.
Yeah.
So I could accuse you of wanting an ATM.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Purely Candid. So in our previous episode, we spoke about dating a career woman, and we as ladies were giving the perspective of dating a career woman, but we were not looking, we were looking at it from the angle of a man, but of course we are not men, we have never dated ourselves, and I think we made that disclaimer clear. So today we have a guest with us. And I'm very excited to meet this person. He is a legendary radio, not former, even current, but a legendary radio show host. He has worked on radio for quite a while. He has made a lot of changes in that space of media.
Today we are privileged as Purely Candid to host a legend in the radio space. He's also quite controversial on social media, self-acclaimed boychild advocate, Mr. James Onen,
aka
Hi, how are
Fatboy.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice to have you on the show.
I'm a fan of your show
Oh wow,
and
thank
a
you.
subscriber to your YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thank you.
if you are not subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe.
All right.
It's the
He
next
has
big thing.
said it.
Yeah.
It's already big.
So James would like to introduce you, but I think you yourself can give yourself the justice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Fatboy, real name James Onen. I work in the radio industry, and currently I'm working at RX Radio, where I'm the host of the Fatboy Show, and I'm also the chief executive officer at RX Radio. My role here is to, do the show first of all, and then to also manage the business side of things and the administrative side of things. It's a new
Sure,
hat.
guys get paid.
Make sure guys get paid.
Mhm.
And people ask me, hey, so how come you're not fat anymore? Two things.
Yes.
First, changing my diet. Second, starting a business.
Oh yeah.
That-
I thought it was fatherhood that got you in shape.
And then now part of it.
You had to start running around, so you had to
Right.
make sure that
Yeah.
you are in shape for that.
Yes, and as I take on more and more responsibility, somehow I seem to be shrinking more and more.
Yeah. Maybe taking its course.
Yeah.
So why don't we now drop the fat and we go to something boy? But first of all, are you still a boy?
Of course.
Because
I think
both
every man at heart is a boy.
All have our inner child.
Inner child.
Yeah.
Okay. In one of our previous episodes, we spoke about dating a career woman. And like I mentioned, at the beginning, we gave our perspective of what men think about dating a career woman. So the self-acclaimed boy-child advocate is here to now give us the male perspective. Maybe there's something we left out. So Fatboy, what is your perspective on dating a career woman?
Well, my perspective is that it's a matter of choice. I'm not going to claim that there is a set rule that everyone should follow. Everyone needs to understand what their own needs are, and then operate accordingly and make choices accordingly. There are some men who are quite happy to have a woman who's up and about and pursuing her dreams and aspirations, running businesses and building empires. There's, strong women like that. And for men who wish to be partnered with such women and who wish to support those women, and have those women be in their lives, do what you have to do. However, if you are a man on his purpose, a man on his mission,
A CEO.
you tend to want to have a woman who's supportive of your efforts, someone who can hold the fort down for you,
Okay.
right? Someone who can maintain your castle as you're out there chasing all the opportunities out there and building your empire and your kingdom. You want a queen that's in your castle holding it down. And for that, if you're that kind of a guy, a career woman may not be best suited for you. Again, it depends. But so speaking for myself, I normally like to deal with women in different ways. I put women in boxes.
Yeah.
And I think women do that too. You put men in boxes.
Sure.
Yeah.
You look at a guy and know, this is marriage material. This is relationship material.
Yeah,
This is a fuck boy.
This one is buying drinks at Bahari.
Exactly. He's stuff like that. And we do it too as men. We know, okay, she seems like just suitable for a casual fling. This one is a one night stand. This one is marriage material. This one is future mother of my children. For me, when I look at a career woman, I tend to put them more in the casual relationship box.
Okay.
Meaning, if she's intelligent and interesting and charming and great company, certainly I'm typically happy to spend time with that person.
Yeah.
But I very rarely ever see this person as someone who might be in my life for a long time.
And why is that?
It's because when you look at the profile of a career woman, the kind of woman who is focused on her career, typically she's well educated, highly informed, a smart woman. And so it means that her needs correspond to her background.
Okay.
A woman who is high achieving typically wants more out of a relationship than what another woman from either a more humble background or is less ambitious wants. A woman who's less ambitious or is from a humble background typically just wants a guy who can take care of me. Someone who can buy me things, who can pay my bills and so forth. Whereas a career woman typically will have her own money. So in a partner, she's typically seeking companionship, fun, excitement, romance, that kind of thing. In my experience, I have found that dating women like that often ends in a breakup because such women get bored very quickly.
So are you saying that career women have to start accepting the bare minimum? Because the other lady you are describing is someone who is just accepting the bare minimum.
Yeah,
it's like it's like as if I am at your mercy as a man. So please love me. Please give me attention. Another voice.
My question to you is, what's wrong with the bare minimum? I quite like the bare minimum.
Do you want to receive the bare minimum?
Haven't you ever heard it said, what do you do to keep a man happy? A man needs three things: food, sex, and silence. The bare minimum.
And silence. I've never heard of that.
Most men are content.
Oh,
most men are content to have that. If they can find a woman that can give them those three things, most guys are okay. But for women, they tend to want more and more. Have you not heard the joke? It's been told by a lot of people, and famously by Joyce Meyer, where she was giving an example of a new department store that opened in town, and women were invited to come and shop for the ideal man. And so they reached the ground floor, and the guide takes them through and says, okay, so on the ground floor, ladies, we have a man that has a well-paying job. So please pick out your husband if you want one from here. And then obviously the women are like, wow, they're looking around, seeing who they might get. And then the attendant says, but before you make your choice, I should inform you that if you proceed to the second floor, you'll have a man who has a good job, but is also very handsome. So the women were like, oh wow, hold up. All right. I was rushing this. Let's go to the second floor and check out what's there. Then they reach there, and then they're looking around to see who they might pick up. And then the attendant once again says, all right, but before you make your choice, I should inform you, if you go to the third floor, you'll find men who have a good job, who are handsome, and know how to cook, and love to cook. And of course, that excited a lot of women. So the women en masse all just went up to the top level. And as the joke goes, with each new level they get to, they are told there's another level where there's yet more men with one more extra quality that the other one doesn't have. So at no point did any woman settle at any of the floors. They all together kept going up to the next level, up to the next level, up to the next level. And the attendant kept telling them there were more and more qualities that the men at the next level had. And then finally, they got to the top where there were men who were had good jobs, who were handsome, who knew how to cook, who loved to have children, who are always home on time, who never cheat, who just the quality stacking up. And then finally the attendant says, okay, so I believe you found the perfect man. Please, ladies, take your pick. But this time the ladies hesitated. They pulled the attendant aside and said, "Are you sure there isn't another level we can check out?" So the attendant said, "Actually, yes. Please go to the next level." And then they get to the next level and it's empty. There are no men there, and they turn to the attendant and say, "But where are the men? You said there was another level." "Yes. Well, this level is to prove that there is no man who will ever make you happy.
Yeah.
You will never be satisfied with any man." Now, the joke flips on its head when it's now the men who are going in there to shop for wives. So the men gather at the first level, and the attendant says, "Welcome. Here's a woman who is beautiful, and here you can find a wife who is beautiful." And then they're looking around. "Oh, great." And then if you go to the next level, it's a woman who likes to have sex all the time. So they go to the second level. And then as the men are making their pick, the attendant says, "Well, there's also a third level up where the woman is a bit understanding," or something like that. And none of the men went to the next floor.
Oh my God.
All the men were happy and content with the women on the second level who were beautiful and like to have sex all the time. Men are easy to please. So that's the moral of the story there. So bare minimum works for us very well. For ladies, and the more ambitious they tend to be, the more successful they tend to be, their aspirations and their expectations of relationships also goes up, which makes it harder for men to please them. So if she finds a man who is good for her now, she'll always be wondering, "Wait, am I selling myself short? Can I do better?" And before long, she's dumping you to look for the bigger, better deal.
Yeah, because if I can date James, then surely I can probably aspire for someone better.
That's the problem. Let me tell you, because for a man, finding good women is quite hard.
Yeah.
Because finding a woman in itself takes a lot of work. By the time I managed to secure a girlfriend, I'd have gone through several rejections of chasing various women, and them playing games with me, and rejecting me, turning me down, standing me up on dates. So by the time I get to the point where, okay, I have a woman now and we get along and we're doing fine, it's taken so much work. So by the time we find that woman, we're like, relief. It's like we want to end there, at least for the time being. But for a woman, for you, it's like a revolving door of men. Everywhere you go, men are approaching you.
I think approaching is one thing, but for a guy to be the kind of man that I would consider being with, men approach you, but for different reasons. Like you said, they put us in boxes. So I may be approached for a one night stand. I'm not
he just wants to shut up and leave.
Approach.
And I feel as if, James, because it's very easy to give double standards. Every man, to give the bare minimum. But men don't want to receive the bare minimum. So it's like as if, be a good girl, give me everything, but then I as a man am allowed to give you a bare minimum, which I feel as if it's double standards. Yeah. Why is it bad for me as a woman to want better?
No, it's not bad. But if I'm on the other end of that, because, I've been in those relationships where I thought things were fine, and many men will attest to this, where you kind of feel like the two of you as a couple, you've settled into a pattern, which for a lot of guys, it's okay. But for a lot of women, it starts to breed anxiety to where they feel like, wait, is this all there is?
We could be doing more.
Couldn't we be doing more? And so if you've taken a trip with her to one country, in her mind, she's thinking, okay, but now where else can we go? Why stop here? They're constantly hoping that they can do better and better. And as a guy, most guys can only go so far before they feel like, well, you know what, I can't go beyond this. I'm going to settle at this level. A woman will look at that and say, wow.
He's not ambitious enough.
He's not ambitious enough. I need a man that can do more. And then she will encounter men who are offering more. So if, for example, he's a guy with a good job, and maybe takes her out to a few nice places, there's going to be guys approaching her that want to take her to even better places. If I've taken her to Mombasa, there's going to be a guy who's going to want to take her to Dubai. And if she gets taken to Dubai, there's going to be a guy who's going to want to take her to France. So as men, we're in constant competition with all of these potential suitors who are banging on her door. And if she's, if she's decent looking, if she's attractive, she will have no shortage of men that are constantly trying to take her away from you. And so for me, I feel like I typically go into a relationship situation with no intention of fighting. I need a woman that's happy to accept me the way I am and to accept the so-called bare minimum from me. Because I feel like if you can accept that from me, then over the course of the relationship, as and when the situation allows, I might surprise you and do something different or give you a special treat. But if it's taken as an expectation that, hey, you gotta keep upping the game and upping the ante with each time, for a lot of guys, it's exhausting. So
yeah, I think I kind of relate because I've been in situations where a guy feels like he's doing everything and you're constantly asking for more. And it's like, but I think I'm trying. You're not appreciating what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
But then Nadia, I'm thinking that by the time I'm doing that, I'm making the man better as well, because there is a saying that a woman who loves money is the biggest motivation for a man. Like they motivate you to even work harder and harder. Okay, I'm not talking about a gold digger here, but a woman who, first of all, these men.
but it's dangerous though, because if you, and I actually agree with you. I think the pursuit of women is what causes men to work hard. You know, if you want nice girls, you gotta make money.
100%.
But the problem is, what kind of girl is he going to see you as? I think he will obviously want you if he's attracted to you, but he's not going to view you as a woman who has his best interest or a woman who genuinely likes him. He will treat you accordingly. He will treat you like an item that can be bought. And so you have to be very careful. If you want to push your man to keep making money because that's what it takes to make you happy, well, he's going to start to view you as that, as a woman that can be purchased. And I feel like that won't make you so happy, would it?
Yeah,
if he walks into the house, doesn't call you all day, and he thinks all it will take is a shiny object, a nice gift to compensate for lack of quality time, I'm sure you wouldn't be happy.
But then the same men do not want the typical traditional woman who like, okay, you're talking about, a boss guy who has his stuff together, he's a CEO, he's making moves. Does he want to be with a woman who can't even hold a conversation in the room, in that, like, if they enter in a certain setting, she just has to shut up? Is that the kind of person you as a man want?
I remember watching a podcast where I think it was a guy versus a chick, and this guy is like kind of like relationship coach or whatever.
Yeah.
So he was saying that men that have money, like millionaires or these high caliber men, often don't go for career women because what they want is they go for models, they go for like this type of chicks because they don't really
the
have
trophy wives.
Yeah, they don't really have expectations of you should show up at my meetings and say things like that. Like, your duty as his woman is to be his woman, and you must look the part. The looks are what matter most to them, and maybe she's a model, she's a fine girl, whatever. So, and he was telling career women, like, sure, we should kind of lower expectations in terms of the partners that we choose, because you want a man that can do all these things, but that man doesn't want you. He wants someone who is going to submit in a certain way.
But that model is not going to submit. That model has been naked on one that
wants to be on a yacht. That's her life.
So my question is that what men like? Of like, she was probably in some OnlyFans page. She has, all this porn stuff and nude and this, because that's
a trophy in the nude stuff. But I mean, you could be a model, like a Victoria's Secret model. It's a career of its own.
I think,
but a man will settle for that, a millionaire, as opposed to a Serena Williams or like a boss bitch.
But then I'm thinking you'll treat her like an object, the same way James said, because those models don't have brains; they have faces. Like, she's ratchet. She is a cheap object in a very nice.
You see why those ballers did those chicks? I honestly look at it and I'm like, it makes sense because these women are only here to please you. They will fight for you, they will do whatever it takes, but they're only here to please you. And at the end of it all, they get paid.
So do men want slaves then?
I think that's I don't like that women rush to these how can I say, these examples. No. I don't like
derogatory terms. Slaves.
They look for ways of framing it to make it look as bad as possible. Yeah. So imagine if you said, I want a man who's driven and successful, and then I say, oh, so you want an ATM. I mean, yes, in a way, it's a reductive way of referencing the same thing. Essentially, a man who is hardworking and successful is a man with money.
Yeah.
So I could accuse you of wanting an ATM. And at the same time, if I said I want a woman who looks after me or nurtures me or cooks for me, that's slavery. Simply because there is some labor involved in terms of what I'm expecting from her. But again, that's very reductive and unfair. So I like to look at it as more of a symbiotic relationship. There's something you want from me. There's something I want from you. And can we not come to a place where we both benefit from what we can add to each other's lives? Now, the reason why career women typically aren't so attractive to a lot of men's eyes is because we want a woman that can submit and can support us and can take care of us. Her career is of zero relevance and significance and importance to us because we know intrinsically that career that she has is not going to benefit me. It doesn't mean she can't buy me lunch every once in a while, but number one, it'll be rare if she does. And number two, if she does it for an extended period of time, it'll breed resentments automatically. Like I've dated women who have a lot of money and during a period of time where I think I was, but my finances weren't really in order. And it seemed as though initially they were happy to cover our entertainment expenses. Like when we'd go out, she'd pay for things. And before long, the disrespect, the anxiety, the nagging would just amplified. And Chris Rock likes to say this, so he says, nothing dries up a woman's vagina more than a woman reaching into her wallet.
Facts.
So you've heard that joke, right?
Yeah.
So you can, I think a woman can only tolerate covering for you for so long before it starts to become an issue. Even if she has a career and even if she can afford to look after you, over time she starts to look at you as a useless man. So then, of what value is a career woman to me?
Okay, so
nothing.
So Fatboy, at the same time, you don't like. I am not a career woman. I am home. I am submissive. I am everything you want me to. But then the men do not want a woman asking them for money because now you may be buying everything in the house, but that so-called my money is what I use to cover other expenses with my family. If you clearly know, the girl child always takes care of their parents. In most cases, men after leaving the house and they have their own families, it's just about his real primary family now. Their parents are not being taken care of. So now, in case I am in a relationship with a man and I don't have any job, and then I'm telling Senga is sick, mom is sick, dad is sick, my brother's school fees, it's again a problem. So why don't I make my own money? It may not be benefiting you as you think, but actually it will save you a lot more in the long run.
But it's not. I'm glad you accepted that it doesn't benefit me, but and how does it save me in the long run? It doesn't, because it means as you're chasing your paper, chasing your money, your opportunities, that is attention you're taking away from me. It means I have to deal with a woman that's going to be coming home late, who's going to be tired, who's not going to be able to cook for me, who is going to be in environments where she is susceptible to being tempted,
poached on by other
men, because
So do you want to keep her in a
office space
in a glass castle? I know, I'm just carrying her around.
No, because everyone knows the corporate space is just a cesspool of debauchery and lust and just craziness. It's crazy what happens in a lot of organizations. Because time spent together, feelings develop. It's natural. There's even a word for it. It's called propinquity. The closer you are, the more time you spend around somebody, the more feelings of attraction are likely to develop.
That's very true.
The work husband.
The work husband. So that now, if I have a career woman, I have to deal with that. She's going to go to her office, and her work husband would have made her a cup of coffee, is chatting with her over small things,
complimenting her.
But my question is my husband working alone in a male because he's also giving another woman attention in the office. But to me, I come back to, I am okay being a stay-at-home mother and doing all these things. But are you going to take care of my folks? Whereby I tell you, I need school fees for my brother, and you don't say nothing. I need, mom is sick, her house is leaking, dad is this, my auntie has swallowed a slasher. All these other things which I don't ask money from you for, is up. Because it looks like men are not willing to do that.
No, I want to ask a question. As I think the next question in that segment of double income household, because this is where we are at now. Like a woman has to work because of all those other responsibilities on our part as well. We also have families and people that look up to us. Can we achieve, is it possible for double income households, or where a woman earns, a man earns, or even if a woman earns more than a man?
Especially if a woman earns more than a man.
Can there be the same amount of love, respect, and all these basic needs that a man has? Let's say, yes, I can take care of myself and I can go on a trip to Dubai. So I'm not asking you for that.
I can take care of my parents. I can do everything. My uncle swallows a slasher. I am good. I won't ask you for your money.
Exactly. So now we're in this home together. I think that the dynamics change mostly on those core needs of love, respect, I don't know, all those things you talked about.
Attention, all these other things.
So give us your perspective on that.
It's not about chipping in, it's about going all the way in.
My friend.
Because, I personally think women, like Nadia always says, women are very comfortable being taken care of. None of us wants to go in this traffic jam every single morning and break our backs and work.
Are you sure?
We don't like that.
It seems like you do.
No. The thing is,
are you sure?
It's not fun.
It's
not fun.